Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In this video I will be sharing with you my favorite albums of all time. These are albums that I love and I keep going back to. I could listen to from start to finish without ever being bored and maybe until the end of time. By the time you see this video, I would have hopefully figured out how to edit because I am new here and I'm still struggling with that. So if I haven't, I'm sorry in advance. But I promise you that I will figure it out somewhere along the way. So let's begin. I would like to let you know that I have divided these albums into categories. First one being the classics and the second one being the newer releases that are still worth listening to. So let's begin. I have my notes here. Okay, first album is going to be from the newer releases categories and it's from a band that I absolutely love. It's called Reckless Love. If you're not familiar with Reckless Love, they are a band from Finland and they have that glam rock thing going on, which I love. The album I chose, it's Animal Attraction. It's their second album, it's glam metal, hard rock at times, and it has songs like Animal Attraction, Hot, Dance, Born to Break Your Heart, and Dirty Dreams, of course, how did I forget about it, that are happy tunes and fun tunes to dance to and have a good time with your friends. It's a party album and it's definitely one I highly recommend you have in your collection. Okay, now let's move on to the first album from the classics. It comes from a band that I believe most of us like, a band that we have been related to throughout the years, a band that has amazing ballads, and of course it's from the 80s. The album from the classics I'm referring to and the band, it's Hysteria, Def Leppard's Hysteria. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that this album is their most successful up to date. Let's see. Yes, it's the band's best-selling album to date. It has reached #1 in the UK charts and has sold over 25 million copies, of course. In this album you can find songs like the classic Pour Some Sugar on Me and Love Bites, which is one of the best ballads of all time if you ask me. And I like albums like that one, that they have diversity and you can listen to the heavier songs and slower songs at the same time because you're always referring to different audience and different musical tastes, so if you have an album that is diverse like that one, it's great, hence its success. But yes, Def Leppard's Hysteria is definitely one of the albums you should have in your collection. Okay, moving back to the newer releases category, it's an album from a Swedish band which I absolutely love as well. The album I chose is Address the Nation by Hit. Again, if you're not familiar with Hit, they come from Sweden and they started their career as an AOR band mostly, but then with this album Address the Nation they changed. You could see a shift in their sound because they have a new singer, Eric Gronwall, which is a phenomenal performer, by the way. I can talk about this band in depth in another video. If you like, please let me know. I will be happy to do so. But yes, back to the album, Address the Nation. It's rock, it's hard rock, it has its glam vibe as well, which I love, in case you couldn't tell by now. And every single song is amazing, every single song. Need Her, Heartbreaker, their most known song, Living on the Run, amazing. And In and Out of Trouble, you can still hear that AOR vibe there, and the sound, I love this song. And The One and Only, just like Def Leppard's Hysteria, It's diverse because it has its powerful songs and the slower ones, but all in all, it was one of the best albums I had the pleasure to listen to when it was released, and it's the band's most successful album up to date, if I'm not mistaken. It was a good one for the new sound they wanted to establish, having their new singer, Eric. You should definitely listen to it if you haven't already, because it's phenomenal. I don't know what else to say. It's a masterpiece, a modern day masterpiece, and it shouldn't be absent from your collection. Okay, next one. In the classics category, it's one of my favorite bands of all time, again, which I just realized it's most of my favorite bands of all time in this category. It's Cinderella's Night Songs. Okay, now Cinderella, according to me, is one underrated band because they were lucky to be successful in the 80s. Were not lucky, they deserved it obviously, but I mean they were lucky to be there at that time and have the success they had. Although they deserve much more credit if you ask me. And they didn't reach the the success they should have, I believe, because they were less of a party band compared to Motley Crue, for example, but still they are amazing. Night Songs is the first album I listened to from Cinderella, and it will always have that sentimental value. I love Kiefer's voice, and who doesn't, and the band's rock blues sound. It's definitely different than many of the rock bands, because they have this softer touch, but still they have created amazing music throughout the years, and this one, Night Songs, is a solid proof. I was debating whether to mention Long Cold Winter because I love that one as well, but I chose Night Songs due to the fact that it was the first album, just like I mentioned, that I listened from Cinderella. The album I fell in love with the band sound, and an album that you should have in your collection because I personally can listen to it from start to finish without ever being bored. It's so nice. It has the sassy vibe in Shake Me, but it has beautiful songs, slower songs, which is Cinderella's style, the unique sound, their mark, their uniqueness is that they can play rock and slower songs at the same time. Who doesn't love Nobody's Fool? Seriously, who doesn't love that song? In any case, Cinderella Night Songs is my choice, and yes, you should have this in your collection as well. Okay, let's get back to the newer releases. Oh yes, that album is coming from a band, like very new band, a very young band, age-wise as well, that I absolutely love, that I listened to and I was mind blown. This doesn't happen quite often nowadays, we have to be honest, or at least so I believe. It doesn't happen quite often to me these days, finding a band that wows me. And these youngsters, they never failed to do so. They didn't fail to do so, excuse me. Okay, the band I'm referring to is Santa Cruz. And if you're not familiar with Santa Cruz, please do yourself a favor, pause this video and go check them out. You will be mind blown, I can assure you that. Okay, Santa Cruz, just like the other two bands I referred to, comes from Finland, just like Reckless Love and Heat, which is from Sweden, but still, you can never go wrong with Scandinavia. And, as I always say, is a mix of Guns N' Roses and Skid Row. Yes, that's just what I said. Guns N' Roses and Skid Row. You can't go wrong with that. It can't be bad, right? No, seriously, the band is amazing. I will definitely have a video dedicated to them and talking about them in depth because I love them. And the album I chose, although it was really hard to choose because I love everything they have released until now. The album I chose is Santa Cruz, self-titled, second album of the band. Okay, when I first listened to it, I couldn't speak. I was amazed. I was speechless, but for a good reason. First time, it was back in 2015, and the first song I heard was My Remedy. These guys, they always deliver. The guitar playing is killer, amazing. They're super talented musicians, and you can find in this album songs that you can listen to for just taking it out wherever you have inside of you. If you're angry or if you have adrenaline running through your veins, just another song of the band. And you can still listen to the softer ones, slower ones, just like Can You Feel the Rain? But they have party songs as well, which is Wasted and Wounded, for example. I love We Are the Ones to Fall. Every single song. Please go check Santa Cruz and let me know. I would love to read which one was your favorite song, or oh, sorry about the noise, or which one was your favorite album. They are amazing. Artsy's voice, amazing. Artsy's guitar skills on point. Johnny's guitar skills. I love Johnny, one of my favorite guitarists. Yes, one of my favorite guitarists, newer guitarist, but still he has managed to become a staple for me. Yes, anyway, Santa Cruz. It should not be missing from your collection. Go check it out and please let me know what you think. Okay, going back to the classics now. Oh, yes, that one I love. Okay, it's a party band, a happy band, and one of many people's favorites. Okay, the band I'm referring to is Poison, and the album is Open Up and Say Ah. Who doesn't love Poison? I mean, seriously, how can you not love to party? Poison is a party band, and this album is their most successful album to date. Yes, it is. Sorry, I keep checking my notes just to make sure I don't say something that is not correct. Yes. Yes, it's the band's most successful release, and it has been certified platinum many times. You can find the party songs, you have the party anthems, just like Nothing But a Good Time, and you have your deeper songs, Every Rose Has Its Thorn, on the top of my head, but I could listen to this album from beginning to ending without being bored. And if you're a person who likes to have fun and party, or you're just in the mood of singing, even badly, just singing along with the songs, and you like to dance, you should definitely have Poison's Open Up and Say Yeah in your collection. One of the best party albums ever. I love that one and the band. Okay, moving on to the newer releases. Okay, this one is going to be quite a different choice. It comes from a band that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I love them. Okay, the album I chose from the new releases is still Panther's Feel the Steel. Okay, Steel Panther is a comedy rock band. Well, they started as a comedy rock band, but I have to tell you that I take their music very seriously because they are very talented musicians. They are amazing, they are experienced, and Michael Starr's voice is one of my favorite male voices of all time. He is amazing, and Satchel. I will not even begin on Satchel because we will talk about it for 3 hours. He's amazing, extremely talented guitarist, one of the best guitarists of our time, for sure. One of the best guitarists of all time, if you ask me. Even Lexi, who claims to not know any notes, how to play any notes. He's a really good bass player, and Stig Sedinha, the same. Other than that, I chose this album because just like Poisons, it's a party album, and you can have a good time listening to it if you're a relaxed person, and if you look at it with an open mind, you can totally enjoy this album. It has great catchy songs because every Steel Panther song is amazing. If you take that Steel Panther element, the jokes and the comedy thing, and the shock factor, because they do, every Steel Panther song is amazing. So Feel the Steel couldn't be absent from my list. I can listen to that album every single day, and every single song without being bored. And when I am in a bad mood, I will always play it, and I will have a good laugh. I will dance because it has songs like Party All Day, which you can dance to, and the ballads, Steel Panther style, of course. But they are amazing, and the Asian song, it's a very catchy and has a heavier sound to it. But yes, if you like to have fun and you're an open-minded person, relaxed and cool, you will totally enjoy this album, and I highly recommend it to be in your collection because it's fun. And who doesn't like to have fun? You can't be serious all the time. We just need to relax and take it easy from time to time. And Steel Panther with Feel the Steel is definitely what they have accomplished. So yes, I love this album. You should check it out. Just have an open mind and enjoy it. Okay, so now moving on to the last few albums, back to the classics. It's an album which was a huge success when it was released, and it's not without a good reason. Comes from a band that is again one of my favorite bands of all time, and a band which I believe is one of everybody's favorite bands of all time. Okay, it's Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet. I love this album. I cannot stop listening to it. I'm never bored. It has everything. It has the ballads, it has the happier songs, and it has been a huge success because I think it represents just like Poison's, yes, just like Poison's albums, that one represents the party mood of the 80s and the happy spirit, but again it has some deeper songs as well, glam, amazing, and songs you can dance to, songs that are iconic and have stood the test of time up until now. I mean, who doesn't love Living on a Prayer or You Give Love a Bad Name, and who doesn't love Tommy and Gina? Every Bon Jovi fan knows and loves our favorite fictional couple who struggles to make it through the day. yes, it's fun and it's full of glitter, just like Poisons. Open up and say yeah, and it represents the 80s party mood. Yes, and it's amazing. No, it has been certified diamond. So you can imagine it's successful for a reason. It's there for a reason, and how can you not have it in your collection yet? I still can't believe it. Go grab a copy. It should not be absent. It should be there. Okay, now we've reached the top. Oh yes, we've reached the top from the newer releases albums category, and it's again a Scandinavian band. It's Crust Diet, Rest in Sleaze. If you don't know Crust Diet, you should definitely check them out. They are Swedish. They are rock, glam rock, sleaze rock. As this album is, and Rest in Sleaze is one of those albums you can tell are a modern day's masterpiece, because when you listen to it, it's like you're going back to the 80s. It feels like not a day has passed. You can't believe it is so good, and it has been released just in mid 2000, like 2005. And Crash Diet and this album, according to me, is what started the newer wave of bands in Europe, in Scandinavia, and in Europe in general, that wanted to bring back the 80s rock sound, the 80s glam, the 80s fun. And if this happened, to me, it's because of Dave Leppard and Crash Diet's release, Rest in Sleaze. It has songs like Riot and Everyone, Knock 'Em Down, Breaking the Chains, It's a Miracle, which is a power ballad, sort of, and more of the rock element on there. It's amazing. Ticket, Needle in Your Eye, Straight Outta Hell. Every single song on that one, it's great, and you should definitely have in your collection. Yes, top album, masterpiece. You should check it out if you haven't already. And before I tell you my number one album of all time, and of course it's in the classics category, I would like to mention one album that I didn't know where exactly to put it, because music-wise it didn't fit along with the other, sorry, didn't fit in with the other albums, but it's an album that would not be missing from this list, and could not be missing, from this list, and should not be missing from your collection. It's an album that I bought when it came out, a different one, but still amazing. It's Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. Okay, I don't think Linkin Park needs any introduction. I would just like to say that I love this band, and when Chester passed, I was so sad to find out, because you're always sad when a celebrity passes, and you're, of course, because it's only human, but especially with Chester, I was devastated. He was one of my favorite male voices of all time, if not my favorite one, and I cried. Yes, I cried a couple days straight, up to the point where my eyes were swollen, because this artist has made quite an impact in my life, in many people's lives, millions of people, and we have related to him, to the band, and to their songs. He has eased our pain, and unfortunately there was nothing anyone could do to ease his. So I was devastated when he passed, and I don't think I will get over it. But He left us a great legacy and iconic songs, legendary, that shouldn't be forgotten and will not be forgotten. So yes, a hybrid theory. By the time of its release, it was something different. It was powerful, and Chester's vocals combined with Mike's rapping were something that totally blew our minds away, and it was their signature style, the hard songs, and the way angry teenagers all over the world could relate to it. And you have songs like One Step Closer, which is my favorite, and Forgotten. I can't choose so many beautiful songs. Pushing Me Away, and everything you can't ignore, from song number 1 to the last one. Every single song is amazing, and in the end, I mean, one of their most successful songs, and one of the most successful songs of all time. In the end, you can't ignore it. This album is amazing. You should definitely check it out. But I believe that everyone has by now, so I wanted to give it a mention before I reach the top of my personal favorite of all time, which is, of course, one of the classics, just like I mentioned before. And this will come to no surprise, as many of my friends, because they know the love I have for this band, and because it truly deserves to be number 1 on my list, and it truly deserves to be in everyone's collection, in your collection, but I believe it already is. Okay, I am referring to Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. My god, this album, you can't ignore anything on it. Anything. Everything is there. The sound, the nice, powerful songs, and Axl's voice is on point. Slash's guitar playing is unbelievable. Slash is a legend. So you can't ignore anything on this album. The talent is there, and every single song is unique, is legendary, it's iconic, and songs that have stood the test of time, and songs that will stand the test of time, and everyone will keep on singing and having fun too. And okay, Welcome to the Jungle and Rocket Queen, with all the drama behind that song due to the live action that took place right there, and Paradise City, which I hope to visit one day, Mr. Brownstone, It's So Easy, Night Train, every single song. You cannot ignore their talent, and they tried back then to make it, and not so many people would have thought that this band will be one of the greatest bands of all time, or the greatest band of all time, according to me. And they did, and you can see their success is guaranteed up until now, because they are amazing, and their reunion tour was so amazing, and it's still going on, and it's being successful, because fans all over the world, just like myself, never thought that we would have the chance to see the band perform live, and we were so happy. Even if they decide to make another reunion tour in 10 years from now, it will still be successful, because they are the best band of all time, according to me, of course. And Appetite for Destruction, I'm sure it's in your most of your collections. If not, you should buy it, because it's amazing. So yes, that was it, guys. There you have it, my favorite albums of all time. 10 of them. I hope you enjoyed this list, and I hope you agreed with me. And if you didn't, please know that I know there are so many bands out there, great bands and artists that I did not include in my list, and this doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge their talent or their worth, because how can you ignore AC/DC, for example, or Led Zeppelin? No, it's not possible. It's just that I chose these albums because it comes down to personal preference, and these are my favorite. I love 80s rock, I love glam rock, and I believe that these albums fit my preference the best. And if you're a fan of this music genre just like I am, you will totally enjoy them, and you should definitely go check them out, all of them. And yeah, the new releases as well. So thank you for sticking around with me, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your favorite albums of all time down below. That would be really amazing and interesting. I would love to listen to that, and what you have chosen, and let me know what you thought of my list, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Until then, have a great time, and yeah, stick around to see what's coming next if you wish. Thank you for watching, thank you so much. Have a good day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!